All right, let's just jump right in. If you're a parent, you know the feeling, right? That little knot of anxiety in your stomach about your child's math education. Are you doing enough? Are they already falling behind? Well, we're going to unpack the real secret to raising truly math smart kids, and I promise you, it's probably not what you think. So, does this question kinda hit close to home? There is just so much pressure on parents these days to give their kids a head start. And you're drowning in all these tools and apps that promise to turn your toddler into some kind of math genius. But what if that entire approach is, well, what if it's just wrong? You know, all this pressure, it creates something you could call the math parent trap. It's this whole world of educational products out there that, honestly, it preys on our best intentions. It makes us feel like we have to buy our way to a smarter child.
It really is a constant barrage, isn't it? Educational apps that promise learning as a game, super expensive math programs that guarantee results. And I mean, come on, this idea that your toddler should be memorizing multiplication tables, it's enough to make any parent panic that they're just not doing enough. But here's the thing. What if the answer isn't about buying more stuff? What if the real secret to your child's math success completely challenges everything we've been told and, get this, it doesn't cost a single cent? Just look at this number. 23%. Now, this single number, it represents a really powerful truth. It is how much higher kids score on standardized tests when their math learning comes from everyday play, not from structured lessons. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. That's right, the most powerful tool for building up your child's mathematical mind isn't sitting in an app store or some educational catalog. You already have everything you need. In fact, it's been right there in your home this whole time. So why is play so ridiculously effective? Let's get into the science of it all. It really boils down to this super simple idea. When their hands are on, their brain is on. Just think about the huge difference here. Screen learning, a lot of the time it's passive. Your child is just watching abstract numbers and rules flash by. But physical manipulation, touching, moving, and sorting actual objects, that is active. It lets a child build these big concepts from real, concrete experiences. And that creates a way deeper foundation for understanding. There's a perfect way to say this. Your child's fingers are their first calculators. They need to feel numbers, not just see them on a screen. Counting on their fingers, stacking blocks, lining up their toy cars, this is how their brains first get a handle on quantity and order. Have you ever just watched a kid instinctively start grouping their toys? The big trucks go over here, the little cars go over there. That isn't just them keeping busy, that's classification, it's comparison. It is pure mathematical thinking happening right in front of you with zero instruction. Okay, so we get why it works. That's the science. But what does this actually look like day to day? I mean, where are all these golden opportunities for learning hiding? They are literally everywhere you look. When you're setting the table and putting out one napkin for each person, you're teaching one-to-one correspondence. When you deal cards for a game, you're showing them division and fairness. And when an extra friend comes over and you add another scoop of ice cream to a bowl, that's addition in a context that really matters to a kid. And the supermarket? Oh, it is a mathematical wonderland. Simple questions can turn a boring chore into a full-blown adventure. You're teaching geometry with a simple, hey, which box is bigger? You're teaching comparison with what costs more? And you're teaching subtraction when they get change back from a purchase. It's all real-world math. This whole idea comes down to something powerful called contextual learning. Basically, math sticks when it actually means something. I mean, think about this fascinating example of Brazilian street children. Many of them can do these incredibly complex mental calculations when they're making a sale, but then they fail their formal math tests in school. Why? Because one is meaningful and the other is just abstract. Exactly. A worksheet on greater than and less than is a chore, right? But in a game of war, figuring out if your 8 beats their 5 it's exciting. The motivation is just built right into the game, and the learning becomes this happy side effect of having fun. This little story about a boy named Woody is one of the best examples I've ever heard. So he's helping bake, and he physically arranges the muffins in different ways. First, 2 rows of 3, then 3 rows of 2, and he has this genuine aha moment, yelling, "They're the same!" He discovered all by himself that 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. That's a lesson he is never, ever gonna forget.
So, let's bring all of this together and talk about your incredible natural power as your child's first and best teacher. Seriously, you don't need a fancy degree in education, you just need to be present. So here's the simple formula. It's not about trying to force feed them concepts. It's about following their lead. Are they curious about how tall that building is? Great, that's a math conversation. Do they love playing with coins? Awesome, that's a lesson in value. It's all about connecting math to their world. And maybe the most empowering idea of all is this one right here. Shift your mindset from I need to teach my child math to I need to notice the math we're already doing. You're doing it when you sort laundry, when you count the stairs, when you divide a snack. The key is to just notice it, name it, and celebrate it. So, are you feeling inspired? Here's a super simple, totally doable plan. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. Just start with these 3 little adventures. This week, swap out one screen session for some hands-on play. Ask one simple math question at the grocery store and play one board game together. That's it. That's the beginning of a whole new approach. So I'll leave you with this last thought. As you go about your day-to-day, through all the simple routines, the chores, the playtime, just remember this. The mathematical genius in your child is already there. It's just waiting for you to discover it together in these everyday moments. So, what adventure are you going to find?